Lyne't. My voice is hoarse a little bit. Well, not just a little bit, a whole lot. But, and you see me wrapping the mic around my face so that you can hear me because my voice is hoarse. But I'm here to do a teaching on empaths. I have decided that I'm only going to, other people can watch it, other people can view it and comment, but from now on, everything with me will be directed towards empaths. The reason being is because true empaths have the mind of love and of peace, and they are centered on God. Now, when I say centered on God, that doesn't mean they're a Christian. That doesn't mean they're a Buddhist or Hindu. That just means that they carry the empathy and the love in them, that they understand the feelings of others so they don't do things to hurt other people, whether or not they want to do them, whether or not it's they truly do not. Oftentimes, and I'm an empath, and oftentimes people start out as empaths and they let the things of this world get to them and they become cold and they no longer hear their own voice in their head reminding them of right and wrong. You deal with people, and there are several different types of people in this world. But one thing I will say is the empaths are special because we are literally the light workers of the world. The world would not function if it did not have our energy and our spirit flowing through it. It would be total and complete chaos. So the one way you can tell you're an empath is if people just naturally gravitate to you and talk to you about their issues and talk to you about that. You don't even know them, and you're standing in line, next thing you know their whole entire life. Or broken relationships where people who are broken gravitate to you, and then they heal, and then they go back to they go to mistreating you, or they're the perfect person when you first get together. And then all of a sudden this person flips or changes, and it has nothing to do with what you've been doing, because you're very loving, you're very caring, you don't talk down to them, you're not selfish and things of that nature. So they have no reason to flip the script on you the way they do. That's because they came to you because energy, you're not dealing with people, you're dealing with the atom, the most minuscule of mitosis, the very first cell. The energy of a person is what you're dealing with. You see a person for their outward appearance, but there is a whole energy, a whole vibration frequency that's going on. Like what's talking to you right now is the mind of Lyne't. The body expresses it. It's like the driver in the car. My energy is me, but my body is the car. So my energy, which is the example of me, gets into my body and which is the car, and I drive the car to every destination I want. I make the car stop, I make it start, I turn it off, things of that nature. If something goes wrong, I have to fix and repair the car with my knowledge that I have of me, my energy. So my energy in real life represents the person driving the car, telling the car what to do. So now that we've had that lesson, we have to realize that we're not dealing with the people that we see. We're dealing with the energy behind them. And what's happening is we as empaths are stuck here. We're stuck here, and empaths, stop committing suicide. Stop killing people, because empaths are mainly the ones who get so hurt that you murder somebody. Stop giving in and becoming like everyone else. Because here's the warning. If you don't like it here, don't come back. The only way to not come back is to pass. How do you pass? You become total love, total and complete love. You elevate yourself to a point, and this is what I tell people. People think that total love means you some punk and people can run over you and treat you any kind of way. If you ever watch the movies, the monks in the movies are total love. But you run up on one of them, you gonna get done up. And then they'll go right back to being a monk, right? That's total love. Total love loves itself enough to not allow anything to physically hurt its physical body. Total love loves everyone else enough to recognize that people are people, and human beings who are not functioning in total love function off of the mindset of lack. They function, and when I say the mindset of lack, if they feel like they have lack of love, they'll cheat on you and go find it. They feel like they have lack of sex, they'll cheat on you and go find it. If they feel like mothers who feel like they have lack of love, they'll go chase after a man instead of loving on their kids and getting that love reciprocated. They feel like that they had lack of parenting from their mothers, so that gives them the right to mistreat their children, or gives them the right to not fully support their children into becoming their dreams, or tearing them down, or saying negative things to them. And so when we look at life from a place of lack, it causes people to behave in people manners. And what I mean by that is they don't behave spiritually, because there is a lack. If people have a lack of, they feel that there is a lack of money, they will do things for the sake of money. And so when someone does something, and we empaths, we tend to, especially once we have become enlightened that we are empaths, we tend to think about the feelings of others by literally putting ourselves in their shoes before we do something. And then we always say, well, people always do me dirty, and I don't do people like that. And why do they? Because those people are not born like workers. They don't have a job here. Our job here is to enlighten the world. Our job here is to enlighten those who want to be enlightened. But our main job here is to enlighten ourselves, to walk in such pure love that we never have to do this again. I see a lot of people bash the Bible because they don't know about the Bible. But what they don't realize is that Jesus was an empath. First things first. If your bashing the Bible was true, you think it'd be on the internet? The government be done shut that stuff down. But what the thing is the government kills everybody who teaches the truth of the Bible, because it's about pure love. When people don't walk in pure love, what happens is they live off of lack. They become drug addicts. They become liars, thieves. They become disastrous people. And even if they're not drug addicts and liars and thieves, they become greedy. They become insatiable. They become lascivious. Things of that nature. But when you know life as no lack, you can then elevate. And so there are people out here who have no empathy. They have none. You cannot connect with them. You can help them and send them on their way. How do you know that someone is not an empath or has no empathy? Because empaths, in time of trouble, we turn within. We look within. We will blame ourselves for everything, but we will never do something in desperation that will hurt others. Those who are not empaths will not think of you in desperation. They'll only think of themselves. They can't think of you. They're not an empath. So you're not to be connected with those type people. You're not to line your life up with those type people. You're not allowed to let them in your space, because what they do is after being with them so long, you tend to lower your empathy and you become like them. And then you have to come back to this earth and be tortured again. Hence the word Jesus said, greater works than I did shall you do, because I go to the Father. Which means, and in John, I think it's 16 and 10 or something, he said, I go to the Father and you see me no more. Why is that? Because he didn't want to come back, because he saw the spirit of the people. How do you ascend to love? First things first, you focus on love. I will start doing a series from now on my pages for Empaths Only. If you're not an empath, I'm sorry, but I don't even want to be bothered with you. I will do business with you. I will say hi and bye, but I cannot be in your presence because it's draining and it's frustrating, and I cannot deal with people who don't put themselves in the position of other people before they think, act, or do. Joy, love, peace, happiness, health, wealth, well-being, and total enlightenment.